So maybe you dream of one day going to Paris to see the Eiffel Tower or sipping an Aperol Spritz in Italy. And that's how you think about it, as one day, because you're convinced that flying internationally is always expensive. But in this video, I'm going to give you my 7 tips on how you can find a cheap flight. Number 1, travel off-season during non-peak times. This one time I found a cheap flight to Frankfurt, Germany. I'd been missing the Christmas markets, and although I couldn't get there for Christmas, this cheap flight allowed me to get there for New Year's, and many of the Christmas markets were still open. Knowing that I saved money on that flight allowed me to enjoy my time in Germany even more, and it was beautiful. It was in the winter time, and there was snow, and it was gorgeous. Some of the best trips I've had were taken off season. That trip to Germany in the winter time was beautiful. Number 2, have flexible destinations. Start with a search from your hometown airport, but be flexible with your destination. Maybe you start out searching for flights to Sweden, but right now the flights to Sweden are just too expensive. But you find another flight to Amsterdam that's a lot cheaper, go to Amsterdam, enjoy Amsterdam, and you can go to Sweden later. Number 3, search for other cities near your destination. It might be cheaper to fly to a nearby city and then you can take the train or rent a car to your original destination. So let's say you want to go to Florence, Italy, but right now the flights to Florence are just too expensive, but there's a cheaper flight to Milan. Take the cheaper flight to Milan, hang out in Milan, enjoy Milan for a couple of days, and then you can take the train or rent a car to go to Florence. Number 4, broaden your search beyond just your hometown airport. Check out airports from nearby cities. It might be worth driving and parking your car and flying out of that other airport to save money. I live in Omaha, and we don't have a really big international airport, so often I've driven to Minneapolis, Chicago, and Kansas City, parked my car, and flown out of there to save money. Number 5, book during the Goldilocks window. For a domestic flight during peak travel times, that's 3 to 6 months in advance. For non-peak times, 1 to 3 months in advance. And when traveling internationally during peak travel times, that's 4 to 10 months in advance. Non-peak times, 2 to 8 months in advance. Number 6, book your flight on any day of the week. Just don't fly on any day of the week. It used to be true that booking your flight on a certain day of the week could save you money, but that's no longer the case. However, the day that you fly can make a difference. Keep in mind that most business travelers are traveling Sundays, Mondays, and Fridays, which can limit seats and up the cost. So avoid flying on those days if you can. Number 7, use resources like Google Flights, Momondo, and Skyscanner. Many of these sites will let you compare travel dates to see which one is the cheapest. So if you have some flexibility in your schedule, that's all the better. My all-time favorite resource right now is called Going. It used to be called Scott's Cheap Flights. It's a free email service, comes right to your inbox. There's an upgrade option, but the basic email is free. And what it does is lets you know about upcoming flight deals. You still book through your airline, which you should always do anyway, in case you run into problems. I hope these tips on how to find a cheap flight were helpful for you. You dream of traveling internationally, but you worry about the cost of the airfare. But when you find a cheap flight, you can make those dreams a reality. It's an opportunity to experience other cultures and to connect with other humans, to broaden your worldview and to enrich your life. You're going to come home with all sorts of wonderful stories to inspire others to maybe travel as well, all because you found a cheap flight. And you'll save money. So when you find a cheap flight, where are you going to go? Let me know in the comments. For more content to help you solve problems, be sure to check out my channel and subscribe. Hey, thanks for watching. I'm really excited for your next adventure and all the incredible experiences you're going to have. And if I can be of any help when planning your trip, be sure to reach out.